How's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today we're going to be talking about Tales from the Darkside. This is Season 2, Episode 5, and this one's entitled Halloween Candy. This is from October 27th, 1985, so just a few days before Halloween of that year, and this is the show's second Halloween episode. The first Halloween episode actually being the pilot, Trick or Treat. So good to see them doing another holiday episode. This is actually directed by special effects and makeup legend, Tom Savini. Always great to see him around. Tom Savini, part of the original Creepshow crew, but also this is his second time directing. The first time he directed, he gave us the very classic episode Inside the Closet, which I definitely would recommend you checking out. One of the best Darkside episodes. This episode stars Roy Poole with a teleplay by series regular Michael McDowell, who has a solo writing credit this time around. In this episode, we see an old man who refuses to hand out Halloween candy. He's really cranky and disrespecting tradition. But anyway, after he gets really fed up, he's particularly cruel to this one kid and plays a goblin candy joke on him. He covers the Halloween candy in a bunch of goo, old eggs and glue and stuff, and pours it into his bag and says, "You want candy? Here's special goblin candy." But maybe you shouldn't reference goblins while you're disrespecting Halloween, because really late at night, he gets a visit from one last trick-or-treater in a goblin costume. Or maybe it's not really a kid in a goblin costume, and he is stuck in Halloween night, literally frozen in time while this kid torments him in a never-ending Halloween night. And this is a really fun episode. Obviously, lots and lots of fun Halloween atmosphere, and definitely worth giving it a rewatch whenever the holiday comes around. And yeah, it doesn't reinvent the wheel or anything, but do I really want it to? You know, I want a good classic Halloween episode. I want tons of Halloween fun. And that's really what it gives. Halloween atmosphere, good October night trick-or-treaters coming around, then you get this jerk disrespecting traditions, and he's gonna get his comeuppance, classic anthology horror stuff, but not just anything, you know, is gonna get the revenge, but a fun little Tom Savini creature. I mean, what's not to love? This is classic anthology horror, classic Halloween, and overall, just a really great, you know, really fun Halloween episode, you know? So yeah, not reinventing the wheel, but giving us exactly what we want, and I really gotta love it for that. It's classic, and if you guys like the movie Trick or Treat, the Mike Dougherty movie that came out later with Sam and stuff, really feels like one of the key inspirations for that movie. And if you like that, definitely check this out. Also, I was thinking, you know, if you like the movie Leprechaun, probably want to check this out. A fun little creature with some magical powers messing with you. Yeah, I'd say Trick or Treat fans and Leprechaun fans, worth looking into this one. You probably would like it. And also, you know, leading to that nightmare section at the end, there's some really fun ideas, and the idea that you would get stuck in Halloween night and it would never end, that's pretty cool. Again, you know, I kind of wish you could push it farther, you know, if this had a lot of time, like if this was a movie, getting stuck on Halloween night you could really play into super hard. But man, once again, just like Inside the Closet, Tom Savini pulls off a heck of a lot for a TV budget from the 1980s. And, you know, Inside the Closet, he gave us a classic Darkside character, essentially the series mascot. And in this one, he gave us another cool Darkside character with this goblin. A really cool character, you know, weird little goblin face and a tail. Yeah, Tom Savini gives us another cool creature. So, overall, really, really love this episode. Classic Halloween stuff, you know? Anyway, without further ado, I do want to analyze this a little further, so I'm going to start talking about the plot. I'm not going to do any major spoilers. I do want to analyze pieces of the plot and say my piece on them, but I'll be avoiding the absolute ending, but I am going to jump into a deeper analysis now. So anyway, we open up, it's Halloween night, and we meet this dad and his son. But the son is all grown up, and in turn the dad's really old. And we find out that the dad has recently lost his wife. She died and now he's alone. He also has a neck brace on, which I don't know if they explained in the episode. I don't think they did, but it's possible that maybe I missed something. But I wonder, does he need this neck brace because he's just old and frail and hurt himself? Or maybe I wonder if his wife maybe died in a car wreck and he's still recovering from the wreck himself. Not entirely sure, but you find out that the wife was definitely the bright side of the relationship, and she was keeping the Halloween spirit going. She was the one handing out candy for this household for years and years, and now that she's gone, the husband says, "I'm not gonna do that," and you find out he really is cranky and really does hate the holiday. He says, why do the kids get to do this? They go around, they ring the doorbell all night long, they annoy me, and who says they're entitled to free candy? Why should I have to give them something? So he finds them annoying and he finds them entitled, and he says, I just wish they'd all go away. And the son says, they're not gonna do that. They take trick or treat really serious around here. And if you don't give them the treat, you're gonna get the trick. And you know, you get the classic examples, toilet papering, egging, they even say soaping someone's window, which does sound like a huge mess and hard to get off. But the son talks about when he was younger, there was an old woman that one year didn't give out Halloween candy, again another real grouch, and she got horribly, horribly pranked. Some of the kids shaved her poodle, and he said, the son said that he personally cut the end off her garden hose. So he says, Dad, you gotta give out candy or you're gonna be pranked. And he says, no, help me check all the windows. I've heard of kids breaking into houses. You know, you gotta make sure the windows are all locked. And then the son says, look, and he pulls out a bag of candy. He says, I know you didn't want to, so I bought candy myself for you to hand out to the kids. So it's free to you. You're not paying for the candy. Here's the candy. Just give it out. And he's going to leave. He's not going to stay with the dad all night. He has his own life. And before he leaves, the two do start fighting. And you get some pretty heavy digs in here. The dad says, maybe it's good that you never had kids. And then the son goes, maybe it is, because I was worried I'd be a bad father like you. And yeah, some pretty bad insults before they leave. But he heads out. He'll be back tomorrow to give his dad more groceries because he's eaten everything in the house. He says he always feels hungry nowadays, and in turn he doesn't have much food left. So the son will be back tomorrow despite the whole fight. Anyway, Halloween night comes. We see the trick-or-treaters. We get two main trick-or-treaters. A kid in an old-timey clown costume. Well, I guess it wasn't old-timey back then. But man, a case of an older costume looking way creepier by today's standards. But a clown and also a rabbit. And the rabbit's a cool kind of creepy costume, but man, who dresses up like a rabbit for Halloween? That's an Easter thing, you know, and his basket even looks like an Easter basket, so Yeah, for whatever reason, this kid's dressed up like the Easter Bunny, okay. And also, he gets one kid coming to his door at a time. If you look at the credits, all the trick-or-treaters are played by one kid. That's a fun detail. You know, Darkside, it's budget. Yeah, just use the same kid, dress him up different. They're wearing masks, you'll never notice. But anyway, he shoos these two main kids away. I'm not gonna give you candy. And later on at night, one last trick-or-treater shows up kind of late, and he's very persistent and won't leave. And this gives the old man an idea. He takes some of the candy, which he hasn't been giving out all night, even though it's free, it's just out of principle, but he takes some of it, and he goes to the kitchen, he gets some raw eggs out of the fridge, he gets some glue, and he pours it on some of the candy, and he goes up to the kid and he says, "Hey kid, you want some candy?" And the kid's like, "Yes!" And he goes, "Have some special candy, some goblin candy." And he pours the gooey candy into the kid's bag. And boy, even though this kid's wearing a mask, he's dressed up with a devil mask, you can tell that he is just totally upset by this. He's holding his Halloween candy at arm's distance, and he's walking away all upset. And boy, you feel for this kid. But maybe you shouldn't disrespect Halloween and bring up goblins. He goes to his chair, and he falls asleep, and then he's wakened by incessant doorbell ringing really late at night. He looks, and it's actually like 11:30, way too late for a trick-or-treater, and it's this kid dressed up as a goblin. And he, of course, tries to get the kid to go away, but he's exhibiting some creepy, mysterious powers. He starts to appear and disappear like way too fast for a kid just running, but then also he magics the door open. The door just flies open and he makes a run for the candy, and the old man pushes him away and gets him outside again. But while this is happening, the goblin breaks his watch, breaking time, we'll see that in a second, but he also drops his Halloween bag. This will come up again in a minute. But he gets the goblin kid away, and he goes back to sleep in his big chair. And he wakes up, and he's like, wait a minute, a bunch of time has passed. I've woken up, it should be morning, but it's not morning. It's still Halloween night. His watch is broken, but even though the goblin didn't touch it, the clock in the kitchen is broken. And he's like, maybe they're just broken, maybe it's morning, but the sun hasn't come up yet. But no, it's still Halloween night, even though way too much time has passed. He's stuck in Halloween night, which is this concept I absolutely love. You know, a stuck-in-time concept, but stuck in perpetual, never-ending Halloween night. That's just really great. That's really crazy, really creepy. But you do get a few really fun gags. You know, the Halloween bag that the kid left will start moving across the floor. We also get a bunch of bugs, which does remind me of that one segment in Creepshow, which we have Romero and Savini working on this as well, so that's pretty cool. But we also get, like, he tries to call his son on the phone, but he keeps getting this automated message just telling him what time it is, and he's like, am I doing it wrong? Is this broken? What's going on, you know? So yeah, stuck in Halloween night, and haunted by the Goblin Kid, which we begin to realize is probably not a kid in a costume. A really cool Savini creature, really fun, you know, goblin face, but also the way it's shot. You know, they keep it mysterious a lot of quick cuts where he feels like a presence, but, you know, you don't just see him standing there too often. So, shots of his little feet or his tail or just quick glimpses of his head, and every now and then him lurking in the background, lurking in the window, just peering in. The Goblin is a really fun, classic creature. I mean, inside the closet, Savini gave us who's essentially the series mascot, and now with the Goblin, he's giving us another really memorable Darkside creature. And overall, this just becomes really a fun segment. Trapped in Halloween night, wacky shenanigans happen, a Tom Savini creature. This is really fun, a classic idea. Now, I won't spoil the absolute ending, but it does end on a really cool visual. Although that being said, a character that has not really much to do with what's actually going on does kind of get a little screwed over by the ending. I mean, he'll probably be fine, but I like the ending visual. I just didn't like that they drugged this character that had nothing to do with anything into it. But again, probably be fine later. But anyway, overall, a really good classic Halloween episode. Definitely something worth rewatching when the Halloween holidays coming in. Worth watching in October. Really great. Maybe do a back-to-back with the pilot episode Trick or Treat, you know? Anyway, definitely would recommend this. So to everyone who's watched so far, thank you for watching. To everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you. You really are helping the channel out. I'll leave a relevant playlist on the bottom. This should be my Tales from the Darkside playlist where I've talked about all the past episodes. I have a Season 1 review and I reviewed the Joe Hill comics. But I've also talked about a few other holiday episodes. I talked about Trick or Treat, the first Halloween episode, and I talked about the 2 Christmas episodes already. So if you guys want to see more, Darkside playlist should pop up right here, and you can click there to see more. Anyway, have a good day. I'll see you guys again very soon. Darkside playlist on the bottom. Have a good day now.